Hello, 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 hello. Okay, guys, I think I'm back. Kyle is doing IT work. In the back, we're trying to make sure that we are actually doing okay with tech. We did a little restart, refresh, reboot, all that good stuff. So hopefully we will get some people back watching soon, and we won't have any issues going forward. If you are able to watch right now, please give me a shout out or a comment and let me know if this is better, if the stream's working better, if it looks better, if you're able to see it better, etc., 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 etc. Thanks so much for sticking with us, guys. We, can't seem to just ever have anything go just according to plan, but we press on and do the best with what we can do. Lovely technology. It's so much fun. But yeah, so if you are just joining us, welcome. This is, episode 4 of the No Smoke Pickleball show, take 2, because, yay, Stacy, thank you, I'm so glad you're watching. Okay, everybody's showing, it's looking better. Okay, guys, so if you're just joining us, thank you. Hopefully we are smooth sailing from here on out. If you missed the first little chunk, I guess no one really saw it because we were having such an issue with streaming. So the very short version again now is we were talking about live streaming at tournaments and how bigger companies or media come in and sort of block anybody else from coming, get exclusive rights to stream a tournament, and then only do like center court and sort of put out that like, oh, it's hurting us and our business and the advertisers by people watching other streams on other courts earlier in the day, which I just think is nonsense. So pretty much we're just kind of talking about that, but we have wasted a lot of time now, so we don't really want to get sidetracked back into that.
So let's talk about the paddle real quick. Play that video again. No?
I don't really feel like we have time.
Okay.
If you missed it, we just put out a couple hours ago our Onyx Evoke Premier paddle review that we did. We're trying to do some more of those and get some more content out there for you guys to enjoy in between the bigger shows like we're doing right now. So definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. Big shout out to Zane Navratil who helped us shoot that.
Okay.
But yeah, do we want to talk about it at all, or?
Let's just get into smoke.
Let's just move along, shall we? Let's keep this train a rolling. So yeah, let's just go into smoke or no smoke. So yes, Gary, I agree.
Yes, that's what we were talking about, Gary. Like,
yes,
because these exclusive right companies, they come in and they say, hey, we can get you these many views, but you have to give us exclusive rights to your tournament. And we're not going to let anybody else stream, but then you can take all our data that we have compiled from all our live streams and you can present it to sponsors. That's what they sell to the tournament director. And the tournament director turns around and says, hey, companies, come sponsor this tournament because guess how many views we're going to have on this. So come pay us and come sponsor us. But if you think about it, we were talking about a lot of these views are reviews. And a lot of these reviews are between 3 and 10 seconds because no one wants to watch Tuesday night football when Monday night football is live.
Yeah.
So like we're growing, trying to go to sport.
No,
so we want as many eyes as possible.
Get as many people helping to put out pickleball to as many people as can see it as possible, and it can only help everybody. So why people aren't doing that is
beyond me. Okay, but anyways, let's move on.
Let's move on. Smoke or no smoke, people. This is what you came for. This is what the show's all about. So yeah, we have two small little topics. The first of which, hydration breaks. Should they be allowed? What's the deal? It's kind of like, there's been all these tournaments that are very warm. Texas Open was very hot. TOC was okay. That was pretty good. Chicago Open was very hot.
There was a nice discussion about this on the forum.
Yes, we saw this on the forum. Big discussion on these hydration breaks. If, do they need to be only taken on your serve? Because if it's the other team, they are rolling with like a couple points and you don't want to take a timeout, but you're like, oh, I'm so hot, like I need a break. Can I go grab some water? Like it's a momentum killer. So it's essentially a timeout without having to take a timeout.
I was always headstrong and not even taking timeouts for the longest time. And then I started to realize how big of momentum is in pickleball. Like I never really realized that. Like I played a lot of basketball growing up, and you would take timeouts to stop momentum. So, and then that's much like pickleball. You take timeouts to stop momentum. So now these hydration breaks, like you can call one almost anytime you want.
Yeah, pretty much whenever, because you're
like,
oh, you
it comes down to it comes down to etiquette on these timeout breaks. But who's to say like if you should take a hydration break or not? So here's my thought on this. You should only be able to take a hydration break when you're on offense, because if you're rolling and you want to stop your own momentum, that's your prerogative. But like you can't be like, oh, I'm out of timeouts and I need a water break. But then what happens if someone really does need a water break and then someone
like is 1 point really? I mean, like
it's a
it's a little touchy. But again, like in those, there are certain people like yourself who are a very sweaty person, especially in very
that's saying it kindly, Lauren.
Someone doused him with water, and that's what he looks like when he's playing in warm weather environments. But essentially, like you see that a lot. Like I've seen a lot of players, they have a towel by the side, and they'll go over really in between every point, like wipe off their face, wipe their hands, but they do it quickly.
That's like, which I think is fine.
They try and do it within the 10 seconds that you have before.
I'm talking about the 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you're just like, oh, I need to
But
go.
Then, I mean, I think this should be a rule in money if you're playing for money. I mean, if this is just a 65 plus tournament, like you're going to really tell a 65-year-old, a 7-year-old that they can't go take a... Would you tell Papa that he couldn't take a water break? That's the real question.
I mean, when winning's on the line, I mean, that's the thing is like some people are uber competitive and they're not going to be down for that. And then like, we got to make an exception for this person and this type of person and blah, blah, blah. In this age, I think that's why I feel like there is something to be said for like sort of regulation on when hydration breaks can be taken. Because again, it is essentially a mini timeout without taking a timeout. So I feel like it should either be like you get so many a game or you can only take them on offense. Who says that?
I just think like if it's all above like 85 or 90 and you're playing money, you should be allowed hydration breaks if it's a certain temperature. But then if you're playing in a pro division, like you should only be allowed to take them like when you're serving instead of just taking them whenever.
Like hydrate throughout the day.
And and that's the other thing. If you're really in that bad of shape where you're like you're gonna pass out, a hydration break isn't gonna help at that point.
You're probably past
you're done.
Point of...
You're done.
You finished.
Yeah. So.
So what's our other little smoke or no smoke topic?
It's along the lines of how much heckling should be involved from spectators.
Fan participation in the sport of pickleball.
Yeah.
So we were discussing earlier, I am a big fan participator. I enjoy cheering on people that I am cheering for and rooting for, but it is definitely limited to the like, yeah, let's go, like, great job, or what, like, woo, like the woos and things, not like yelling things at people or just to yell things. Like, I feel like, and again, it's one if you're in a big stadium or a big crowd and everybody's yelling.
You usually can't point out the person that
can't even hear you. You're white noise, blah blah blah. But like when you're next to a fence and there's one person right there and you're like, body bag.
I mean, who loves,
like every time, like.
I mean, I love a good body bag from the Nets, but there's some etiquette.
There is some severe etiquette that needs to be taken into account, and I feel like there's just certain players out there that just like to make noise and like to.
I'm on it.
Get in people's face or whatever. I don't know. Like,
to be honest, though, Lauren, you remember when I wouldn't even like you like cheering for me?
Yeah, you didn't want me to ever yell. You don't like anything.
I'm very.
Well, it's weird because we were at the U.S. Open in April, and we were at center court watching our friends Cassandra Gerke and Zane Navratil play, and it's like a big deal. It was like a lot of people, and nobody was saying anything, and we'd be like, "Yeah, come on, guys, let's go!" And we were like the only people, and I was like, "Well,
I'll tell you what, though. Our guest tonight from Canada, the Canadian crowd can cheer.
The Canadians, they are
Especially the Kalamoto clan. And
oh yeah,
they get rowdy. And so and Ernesto's mom, she likes a good
which
cheer.
I appreciate.
I appreciate it too.
Get into it, man. Like, support people, but like keep it to, not being crazy, not being rude, not being a dick about it. Like, just. And the thing is, I feel like the people that do, like, they know what they're doing. Like, you know what you're doing. Like, you know that you're annoying people or whatever. And honestly, like, I don't even think they're doing it to get in someone's head or, like,
I think they're just doing it to be funny.
Trying to, like,
be funny,
make noise or, like, be whatever. And
but should it be? But then my next question is: should it be? How much should a player be able to react then to heckling?
I mean, as much as you want to. Like, if you want to go shove somebody in the crowd, I think that's your prerogative.
Have you seen what happened with the Detroit Pistons and Indiana Pacers?
Pickleball,
well, I'm just saying, you get
a bench clearing brawl.
I mean, you get players going into the crowd, and then all of a sudden there's punches.
Pickleball, like, clear the stands.
Just saying, I'm just
rush to the court.
saying. I mean, you got to draw a line somewhere. People.
I mean, I feel like players have every right to yell at somebody to shut their mouth when they're being annoying, because they should have had their mouth shut to begin with if it's messing with people. But I just feel like it's common sense. Like, it's common sense. It's common courtesy. Just, everybody knows, I feel like, what is appropriate at your sporting events. Like, there are certain things that are appropriate at, like, a college football game that are not appropriate for your 6-year-old soccer game.
That's true.
Like, there are levels of appropriateness for, like, what you can be yelling at whom. Like, you can be 135 rows back in the stadium screaming at a particular player about how much you hate them.
I don't know. Nick
Carrio's
got a fan kicked out for talking smack to each other.
That's tennis, though.
I know, but it's almost the same thing. No, and the guy was in the front. I know, but the guy was in the front row, and they were jabbering back and forth, and all of a sudden,
it's tennis. There are different rules for tennis than for a football stadium. Like, 100%. There's no comparison.
So where do you think pickleball should be on the spectrum then?
Closer to tennis. I feel like tennis, I appreciate that, like, again, everyone's pretty quiet during the point. Like, but then, at the end of the point, there's a lot of cheering. There's cheering. Like, that's how I feel like pickleball should be. Like, cheer for a good point. Cheer for the players you like, but obviously not during a point, because, it would be distracting and would totally, like, interfere with the point.
Okay, and this brings us, so you think we've covered this enough?
I think so.
Okay, so, and we forgot to cover this. This was kind of in the no simmering. And this is kind of getting to, up here in the Midwest, the weather is getting cold fast, and it's supposed to be 40.
Fall is upon us. Winter is coming.
And, I mean, Zane and I are... Zane and I are still getting up and getting out to the courts by 6:30 and hitting in 45-degree weather. But around our area, there's no tennis facilities. And I hate to say it, I'm an indoor ball snob.
With what kind of ball to use?
Yeah, wood floors and
like the surface is huge.
It's just not my jam.
I mean, there's a difference with an indoor ball on a wooden gym floor versus like a pickleball indoor court.
I just feel like my skills aren't getting any better by playing on a wood floor. And what's your thoughts on that, Lauren?
I mean, I can agree. Ball. I'm probably a little bit of an indoor snob when it comes to like a wooden gym floor with taped lines on it. I feel like if you're on a tennis court inside, great.
No offense, though. I do love. There is a guy that we play with who has his own barn with a wood floor, so I'm not hating on that.
I mean, that's like...
Play. And there's a sauna in there.
Nicer, though.
Yeah.
Of course. Shout out to Dwayne. We love you, Dwayne.
So, but what's your thoughts on that? I mean, I just don't like the feel of the ball coming out the paddle.
That's the thing. Like, everyone has a choice where they want to play. Like, if it's a gym floor, don't play if you don't like it. I mean, sometimes you got to deal with what options you have. So... do I think something is better than nothing? Yes. Do I feel like you going for the 6 months of winter, not playing, and unless you I'll be
hitting Duraballs until it's 28 degrees outside.
Well, yeah, so. I'm just saying, like when there's snow on the ground and you don't have any options, like is it better to be playing on a wood floor? Yeah,
yes,
probably. Does that mean you want to and that's your preference? No. But,
Fair enough.
Vegas Open, some people were not having that indoor court and were just like, bye. Like,
I don't know if that was completely all of the reason.
I think it had a lot to do with the reason.
Maybe.
I am not speaking for anyone, but I think that's a big reason that
who's to say?
Some people didn't want to play in that surface, in that condition, and that is their prerogative. I feel like Vegas was a money tournament, and people didn't want to compete because of whatever reason I feel like is interesting to me. I don't know. It's what it is.
Yep. All right, so should we
guys,
bring our guest then?
Steve Deakin in the house.
His first primetime
This
interview.
is his first primetime jam with us, so we're super excited to have him. We expect him to be nothing but lovely and polite as every Canadian is. So.
Another person like the Newmans, a little scared to come on.
I know. Why is that? Are we scary?
How can these players be playing on center court at the U.S. Open, but they're scared to come talk to? Well, you are pretty scary, Lauren. I'm not gonna lie.
I am very scary.
Don't let her get mad at you.
It's true.
She will.
It's true.
She will knife
fierce.
somebody.
I will cut somebody. All right, guys, we're gonna get Steve on the horn here in just a minute. If you missed it, we had a very hilarious little promo video
should we
for Steve.
Play that first?
We're gonna roll it just because it was super funsies and we enjoyed it. We thought it was a good for a chuckle. So we're gonna get Steve on the horn here and be back with him in 2 shakes of a tail feather.
Hey. Wake up. Hey. Wake up. Do you know what day it is today?
No Smoke Wednesday, eh?
All right, guys, we do have Steve. He's there, but he hasn't figured out how to put himself on here. Steve, can you hear us?
Okay, hang on. Here we go.
There he is!
Hey!
Canada's finest right there.
It can be done. I just want you to know I use this phone only for things like texting, phoning, Uber, and Uber Eats, and that's it. And maybe register for the odd tournament. That's about it.
Nice.
Steve, just by the way, you got a good strong beard game going on right now.
Well, there's a story behind that, which I haven't told anybody. And
let's hear it. We want the scoop.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to share it or not. It's
well, you have to now. You can't see that.
I'm a bit superstitious about it, but I do appreciate the beard.
It's just a superstition. That's it.
You look very nicely groomed, sir.
Oh, really? Because I've kind of let it go a bit wild, right? And it's this is 6 weeks growth, so I've been working this hard.
This is like my whole life.
This is a craziness.
Whole life.
Wow. Wow. Well, I'll share the story. I haven't even told my wife this yet, so this is like news for everybody. Hey, hang on. How many viewers do you have right now?
We got 17.
What?
I know. What's
the highest you've ever had?
50?
40 something at one point, but it ebbs and flows. We'll get more.
Oh my God, that must have been for Riley Newman, probably, right?
It probably was.
Yeah.
That guy's a stud. But...
He's got a lot of fans.
He has no dad bod, but so that's what I'm saying. So he's got nothing on us.
Either do I, but yeah.
Man.
So you guys faced a few technical difficulties, I heard, eh?
So he said A.
Yeah, see?
We just can never quite get our lives together over here.
It was literally one setting because we got a brand new computer. So there's one setting.
Yeah, I heard this. I heard the story. The story.
No,
Kyle likes to tell everyone that we got a new computer.
Well, it's the truth.
I'm glad it's working better now.
Yes, we're good now. But are you telling us the beard story? Tell us the beard story.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I got off track there. Okay, so after TOC, Eric Lang and I had won a bronze medal there. So all I did, it's like my playoff beard. So before every match, or before every tournament, I'm not going to shave this until I don't hit a podium. So So like I've been fairly successful so far. I'm very happy, and I'm glad this beard is growing. And as soon as I don't hit a podium, you'll see a baby face Steve again.
So what you're saying is,
Oh.
hold on. So what you're saying is you're happy with third place finishes? Is
You know what? Do you want to know something? I've been, I get jabs all the time. I'm bronze boy here in Canada,
yeah.
right? So,
Yeah, we were
You
just talking
used
about that.
you used to be the golden boy, the true golden boy, but now you're
well, but now I'm just a little fish in a big pond, right?
That is true. That is true.
That is true.
Yeah, yeah.
All
So
right.
that's that's the quick overhaul on the beard
So it's
story.
just
I
like a
like
hockey
it.
beard, huh? Why
Exactly like a playoff beard,
dude, I got
but
the
for
flow and the beard going for playoff time right now. I just see you with
really?
the beard.
Well, I can't do the hair thing. I got to keep that somewhat in order.
He's got a.
I
He's
know.
married. He has a wife. He has to
That's
think
why he
about.
should be doing that.
I got to take care of my personal grooming, I guess.
Dude, I saw that nice picture you had in Philadelphia getting nicely groomed in the chair.
Where was
Up,
I?
I
At
think it
your
was.
barber. At your barber.
No. That's my, oh, this is great. He's going to love this. My barber, Greg, who's literally about 2 minutes from my house. I've been going to him for about a year now. Pitt Meadows Barber.
Woo woo.
That's for you, Greg. That guy is the only guy that can tame this mop, right? So I've been going to him for a while.
Dude, you got good hair.
You do.
Don't let
Right?
anybody tell you any differently. He's even got
Right?
salt and pepper
I
going,
know the
dude.
salt and pepper is
You're gonna age like a golden
good.
fox. You know that?
well, hopefully a golden fox that works for me.
silver. It's silver fox.
Oh no, a bronze fox.
A bronze.
Yeah, well,
Excuse me.
that's getting old. I broke the bronze curse. I've had it. I broke the bronze curse with Wes last weekend, so I was pretty
Oh, yeah,
happy
you did
about
get
that.
gold. In
That
some,
is true.
I mean, it pretty much looked like a local tournament, so we shouldn't be bragging.
Mhm.
The little.
Well, I'm happy with any gold, to be honest.
That's true. That's true.
You
I
That's
got to learn how to win again, right?
yeah.
That is true.
You gotta
And I
learn how
finally
to.
avoided a tournament with Ben Johns and Kyle Yates in it. So
Yes, that is
Also
very
that.
true.
Yeah,
Also
yeah.
that. All right. So Steve, let's just jump in. Obviously, you are Canadians' favorite pickleball child.
Well, I don't know about that. There's a few of us up here.
I don't know any of those other people. We're only talking about you. So
Okay.
you grew up. You were born in Point Moody. Grew up. You're British Columbia the whole time. Have you always lived in British Columbia?
I have, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right from day one, yeah.
So now you're in Pitt Meadows, which is just like outside of Vancouver.
Yeah, Pitt Meadows is about, I would say, 45 minutes east of Vancouver.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah,
You are.
yeah. My wife and I moved out here probably about 8-9 years ago. We had a little condo in Port Moody, but the prices, real estate prices out here are ridiculous.
Well, luckily, you know a good realtor.
I know, right?
Oh, well, who is that, by the way?
Who? I think
Your
Stacey Deakin.
your social media manager.
Yeah, she's your manager.
Oh, she filled you in on that, did she?
No, we have other inside sources, but we will not.
Oh my God. Okay.
I definitely.
Yeah.
It was really.
I don't do anything for myself.
I know. I was messaging your pickleball page, and after you told us it was probably her that was responding, she had mentioned something, and I was like, "Is this Stacy?"
That's
She
because
said that you do everything for her, and she
That's-
was like,
yeah.
"Oh,
She-
busted."
that's because you were at the gym texting Lauren, and your page was speaking to us at the same time. So
Yeah. No. Like she's doing a good job as the gatekeeper. That's for sure.
Yeah, she's crushing it. We are big
Yeah.
fans of Stacy. So what's how long have you guys been married? How'd you guys meet? Like, what's your whole?
Yeah, we've been. We just actually had our 10th wedding anniversary in September.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we actually knew each other from when I was actually playing tennis at this tennis club that I used to play at like 30 years ago, and I literally ran into her at a Starbucks and in Port Moody, and we actually became really good friends, and it just kind of developed from there.
you know, I always said I was going to meet my future wife at like a Target, but I ended up meeting a pickleball tournament most likely.
Well, how long have you been playing pickleball for?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
A little over 2.5 years.
Is that how you met Lauren?
Yeah, I met her in Michigan at Kalamazoo.
Yep.
Wow.
She
Took
saw
it
us.
all.
She saw us take down 2 Canadians, and then she decided, yeah, I need that Wisconsin kid.
Who were you beating up on in
Actually,
in Canada?
actually 3 Canadians.
Oh my gosh, you're
We
the
beat,
Canadian Slayer.
we beat Matthew Kawamoto and Ernesto, and then Mark Renison was at that tournament as well.
Oh wow, yeah. Kawamoto and Fajardo are coming along nicely, aren't they?
All right. They had a good.
like
It was
those guys.
right after their nice run at the U.S. Open they had. So
Yeah. So you felt pretty good about that, did you?
I felt good because
No one
Lauren
likes
felt
to
good.
beat up on Canadians.
No,
It's just
you
like,
guys are
On,
too
we are
so
just
nice.
such nice people all around.
You just apologize all the time. Everything's it's so great. It's all that maple syrup and free healthcare and
Don't forget the poutine, right?
oh yeah, there's that as well.
Do you know what that is?
No,
I do know what that
I do
is.
not know. Please fill me
You
in.
would oh god, he eats anything and everything.
Dude,
He's
I'm a
gonna
connoisseur.
die. You tell him.
And you don't know what poutine is?
He doesn't know what a lot of things are, but you tell him. Steve, tell him what.
Okay, well, the best poutine, it's got to be, homemade French fries,
Oh, I've
thick
heard of
cut,
that. Really.
okay?
Yeah.
And then you get these cheese curds and you jam them in the middle of the bowl. And then to make things even that much better, you just dump like boiling hot gravy all over it. And wait for the cheese to melt. You don't want to, I know it's going to be tough for you to hold off on that, but wait for the cheese to melt.
That sounds
and
like a
then
Wisconsin.
It'll be the best thing you ever had in your life.
Oh man,
Wisconsin, if you don't know, because who wants to come to Wisconsin anyways? Even though you're playing with someone from Wisconsin, we're really known for cheese around here. So,
oh boy,
right up our
the
alley.
cheeseheads and all that good stuff. Oh, gracious. Well,
so Wisconsin, is that like I'm assuming that's like Green Bay? You're a Packer fan then?
I'm a Chicago Bears fan, actually. Unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Well,
Yeah. You know who my favorite quarterback was for that team was McMahon.
McMahon.
Yeah. I had a McMahon jersey as a kid.
Yeah, he. I was born right after the Super Bowl. I was probably actually conceived. You remember that commercial with the Super Bowl babies? It was by Kiss by a Rose. You ever hear that song?
oh yeah.
I was a super. They made a Super Bowl song.
That's amazing.
Super Bowl babies, and I was born in September after the Bears won the Super Bowl. So I was
we
probably
know what gets your parents
baby.
going now.
Yeah,
so.
a Bears Super Bowl.
Well, you're a Bear.
I was the last one.
Yep, no, it hasn't been one since.
I was the last one.
Awesome. Speaking of children, Stacy has 3 gorgeous kids that just graduated from college a year ago.
They did, yeah.
Which was awesome. I was actually looking. So all 3 of them graduated at the same time, and I think she said one graduated early, one graduated on time, and one graduated late. Is that correct?
That's exactly how it went down.
That's so crazy. So are they all just a year apart?
I think, I think Maggie is the youngest, and she's 23, and I believe Kellen is the middle boy, and he's 25, and then Briley is the oldest, and I believe he's 26.
Awesome. So it was the girl that graduated.
26, 27.
Yes. Love it. And
Sorry, Briley.
Do any of them play pickleball?
Yeah. Any pickleball players in the family?
Well, you know what? We got Briley and Kellen to come out to the local rec center that we have here where I learned to play pickleball. And they grinded it out for 3-4 hours there with some rec and had a great time.
Are they athletically inclined?
Totally. Yeah. I think if they put some time into it, I think they could be really good.
Wow. What about and then you have a son, Jacob?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've done your research. That's good.
Well, I mean, we try.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Playing at all?
Yeah, no, Jake's fifth. How old is he now? He's 16. And
Take your time.
Dad of the year right over.
Yeah. No, Jake is 16, and I have a daughter, Taylor, who's 20.
Oh, okay, awesome. Are them playing? Getting those guys?
Nope. Jake's into mixed martial arts.
Oh,
Yeah. He likes that, and then I think Taylor's going to school right now to be a makeup artist for the film industry.
I mean, cage fighter and makeup artist. That's, the
So
general
when he gets
way
his
that
face busted, you'll have his sister will be able
the
to.
sister can make it pretty.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. Two
By the
different
way,
moms. So
did you get some
yeah, yeah,
makeup on
yeah.
for this great show?
Yeah, did
You get a little wardrobe action? Did
What's
Stacy do you
that?
up?
Did Stacy do you up for in the makeup chair before you?
Well, no, you know what? I came home and I had that awful shirt on this morning that you guys saw in the
I don't know.
in the test run, and then I thought I'm just gonna go with a nice jet black sweater. Call it a day.
You got the
Yeah,
memo.
got
It's
the
the
memo.
team black. I mean, black on black
Yeah,
on black.
Blackout Wednesday.
Yes.
Well, that's I think
Those are
that works
Alice.
well, don't you think?
Wait, what did you say, Steve?
I said, don't you think it works well? Like all three of us are in black.
Because they
Very
say
well.
black makes you look skinnier, so that's the look I'm going for.
Oh, great.
Exactly. Or just keep the camera like neck up and then you're fine and nothing.
Yeah. We don't want to know what's going on from down here, right? So
Yeah, I mean, you could be not wearing
I could be sitting here in my boxer shorts for all you know.
We're not wearing pants.
Hey, and
That's how it goes.
and we don't
Perfect.
judge over here either. So
Perfect.
I
Hang
love
on, let
you.
me close the door. Okay.
All right. So you also have, which I need to touch on, two, I think,
Yep.
long-haired dachshunds. Which
yeah.
we're big dog lovers. Obviously, you guys love your doggies. I
we do.
love
Yeah.
a long-haired dachshund. They're just the cutest thing ever.
For sure.
Are you the dog person? Is Stacy? Are you together? How did we?
No, well, you know what? Like, I had never had a pet my entire life until I met Stacy. And when we bought the house here where we live now in Pitt Meadows, she had the idea that she wants a dog, and she's always loved those long-haired wiener dogs. So we went and got one. And instantly, I love this dog, right? And they're so happy to see you when you come in, and like you could have a crappy day, and they're always there to greet you with their little tails wagging. And so we got Peter, a dog named Peter.
Has a person.
Yeah, we named him Peter. Yeah.
Just like your brother's dog Shane.
Yeah, Peter. That's a great name for a dog, right? So we ended up getting another one about a year later named Oliver. And I tell you, Oliver is quite a unique little fella. I'm pretty sure he's bitten every single one of the guests that we've had in our house before. So
I mean, what everyone looks for in a dog. So
well, right, so you name it, and he's bitten them. So.
All right. So that's duly noted. So when you house us,
so don't come to my house ever, because you're going to get attacked by about a 16-pound wiener dog. So.
All right, let's get to some of the things that the people really want to know about. So,
Are you telling me there's people that want to know stuff about me?
Well, when someone bursts onto the scene like you did,
oh my gosh,
trailblazing. So
yeah, I just kind of slithered in from nowhere,
So you started playing tennis when you were 4 or 5?
Yeah, that's about right. I'd say 5 years old. So I was also really, big into like soccer and baseball, and I played all three of those sports right up until I was about 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it got a bit challenging, for my parents logistically. So I made a choice to follow tennis, and it was probably one of the best decisions I made. I had so much fun, from 13 to about 18, traveling, playing. It was really quite a unique life. It was super fun.
So, as many people may not know, Steve comes from a very heavy background in tennis. Okay, we're talking about 11-time junior national champion for Canada.
That's right.
11-time junior national champion, right?
God, how do you know all this stuff? Holy cow!
I was spying in your house last night.
I'm either really, really flattered about it, or I'm a little.
You should be creeped out. You should be creeped out.
I have a feeling it's going to get worse.
Probably, yep. Just buckle in.
So Steve, obviously you were a very good tennis player, and then you had a major injury when you were 18, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
So,
So
and we actually here we got a little.
this is how we found most of the information.
We stalked Stacy's Facebook page, of course,
All of
because
it.
you don't have any social media like presence at all.
Yeah.
Stacy's all about that life, so we love that.
You're not going to be able to see this, but the viewers
we
were.
found the newspaper article that they wrote back in the day.
God.
In '93, they were saying.
Holy cow! Okay, we're really digging deep here, eh?
We're going deep.
Oh yeah,
deep
so
into the well.
We read it as best we could,
Okay.
zooming into like the tiny little print. So essentially, walk us through. You were at a tournament. You were warming up for like the second round or something.
Final.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't think it was the final.
Was it the final?
I thought it was.
Yeah, you know what? It was actually. Are you talking about when I did this?
Yes, when you hurt your elbow.
Yeah. No, it was actually funny. It was at my my home tennis club where I was doing a lot of my training, and I was actually in a quarterfinal match, and I just felt a terrible pop in my elbow, and I was able to kind of get through the event.
You won the tournament.
Yeah, I won it. Yeah, I won it.
I muscled through. Like you went on to win. So
yeah, it was tough, but that injury just plagued me for probably a year after, and it got to the point where I was like grinding like week in, week out, traveling through the southern states, playing these little satellite tours, which are like equivalent to futures in tennis now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taking losses to guys that I should never lose to, and it was really tough, and it took its toll on me for sure. And I ended up just deciding to pack it in at 18.
So like you were you were probably a top 1,000 ATP tour ranked player, right? At some point. Right?
Yeah. No, I was just scratching the surface. I think I had a career high of like 904 or 905 or something like that.
That's incredible. But like, so was it like the equivalent of like having like a Tommy John surgery you would have? Is that the type of injury?
Yeah, that was the injury that the surgeon had diagnosed me with, and they had given me some surgical options, and at my young age, I was having a really hard time processing the recovery and rehab, and it was going to be a good year and a half until I could get back playing again, and in my young 18-year-old mind, I thought it was the best option to probably just move on.
Well, that's funny because in that article, that actually, for you to say that is crazy for me to hear, because most 18-year-olds, don't necessarily have the maturity or the forward thinking to be like, hey, ultimately, like, is this going to be the best option? Like most 18, like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Like tennis is my life. Like I got to do everything. I'm going to exhaust all my options. And you were just like, you know what? Like,
so that brings me to my point, Steve. So like pretty much this was your I shouldn't say whole because I don't know you that well, but like this was like a big part of your identity. Like how did
at that point? It certainly was. Yeah, it was all I really knew.
How did you deal with that from like after 18? Like this is all you pretty much known, and now you got to make a pivot somewhere. And
like, was there a period where you were just like not happy about it?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I guess I had played so much and traveled so much. Maybe it was a bit of a blessing in disguise that I got hurt and kind of started my life. But I tell you, it was very easy for me actually to move on because I, of course, discovered nightclubs and girls and alcohol and all
sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Is that what you're talking?
Yeah, and all sorts of things that I had zero exposure to while I was playing tennis. Like honestly, like I didn't have a beer until I was probably 18. And that's I think unusual for most kids, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So then, after that, you went and started working for your uncle at his mining company.
Like which I think you're still at to this day, right?
I am. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm still there. I basically went and got a job right away after I stopped playing tennis and started right from the bottom, doing the shipping and receiving, and eventually it groomed into a nice little job for me that has been fairly secure over the years.
So then my next question is, in that time frame, how did you make your way back to tennis? Because you ended up becoming a senior national champion somehow.
So like, hey,
Well,
Oh, hey,
well,
I'm
that's
my
back.
right.
career's
Like
over, but
A senior
never mind,
Canadian
I'm back.
champion again. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
How did
Yeah,
how
it
first of
was
all, how were you able to come
it
back?
literally happened like 20 years later. Like and I'll tell you, it was all Stacy, to be honest. Like
Oh,
she knew me from the tennis club that I played at, and she's like, I can't believe that you're not playing tennis anymore. And I said, well, I was playing a little bit of baseball. I got into kind of mountain biking, golfing, that type of thing. And, so I said to her, I said, okay, I tell you what, we'll play some tennis together, like, cause Stacy used to play tennis as well. So we went to one of the local clubs here, and it was quite funny because it was the first time I hadn't hit a ball in like probably 20 years.
Wow.
And I'm a little bit heavy. I've been enjoying fine food and
Yep.
things like that. And I walk into this place and I just plan a mixed drop in, right? And they said that will be 42.50, and I'm like, what? And because I said, I was like, I've never had to pay court fees anywhere ever in
yeah.
my life. I didn't even know they existed.
Uh-huh.
I was like, wait a minute. Do you know who I used to be 20 years ago? You're going to charge me a court fee? So anyways, I went and that's when it all basically started again. I started hitting balls and really loved it. And I only have one speed, and that's a tunnel vision, fast speed,
Full
and
throw.
of course I wanted to get right back into playing open level tennis, and I was calculating how long it's going to take me to get my timing back, and so I was probably playing tournaments again in about 6 months.
So how did
Wow.
your elbow heal? Did you actually have surgery on it at some point, or did it?
No, you know
Oh,
what? It just literally, I've never had a problem with it. I stopped playing, and it basically was fine when I started hitting tennis balls again.
well, Steve, we would get along very well because like Lauren can contest to this. I literally have one speed, and that's tunnel speed, and going at full
Yep.
throttle. One,
Well, for me it can be a fault sometimes, right? Like I get
me
so
too.
obsessed with things, and
Yes.
Yep.
if I want something, I usually get it, and whatever it takes for me to get it, I'll do.
Well, that's what I mean. A lot of people don't understand it. Like when you want to try to accomplish like something big, like sometimes you have to sacrifice things, and it's full speed ahead, and that's hard to deal with when you have a family or a serious
Hmm.
friend and other.
Hmm.
But
For sure.
Yeah.
so that leads me to the next point. So injury seems to be the key thing in your life because they lead you to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I heard that you had a tumble playing tennis, which led to a shoulder injury,
Yeah.
which then led you to your father introducing you to the pickleball. Is that true?
That's exactly right. I was, man, it's alarming how much you know about me.
The
Um,
I mean, it's not too bad.
internet's a hell of a thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, I was playing in an event back in Montreal. It would have been August of 2016, and I was playing in the doubles final with one of my buddies, and it was near the end of the event. It was hot, and we were playing on clay. And the clay was not taken care of very nicely. It was the end of the tournament. It hadn't been watered in between matches, so it was super slick like glass, right? So I went and I hit a serve. I came in behind it, and my opponent shanked his return and jerked me away where the ball wasn't supposed to be. And I fell. I literally, my feet shot out from under me. I landed on my arm. It was brutal. Like I tore my rotator cuff, and had a little bit of a hip issue from it, and you know what? I literally never played another competitive tennis match again.
That was
Well,
it.
give it 20 years, Steve. You will be back on that circuit, just
SSIP. Super
senior level.
Super
Well,
senior.
oh, I really don't know. I really don't know. I'm having too much fun right now playing pickleball, but
So yeah, so pickleball came about because basically you were recovering, couldn't play tennis. You just
Mhm.
wanted to be sort of doing something. So how did you get into pickleball? What did you think about it? Like,
I was sidelined for probably 3 or 4 months, and it was such a slow recovery for my shoulder. And I was getting, obviously a bit depressed, and something that I loved so much, and I was having so much fun doing, was taken away. And my dad came to me one day and says, "Hey, do you want to head down to the rec center and play pickleball?" And I was like, "What the hell is pickleball?" Right? And I had never heard of it, but I thought I would. I thought I would give it a go, and I went down there, and I've never looked back ever since. It was probably I had so much fun, even the first day that I played, and of course, I've still got that tennis mentality. I was, pretty much cracking every ball that, whether it was, below net level, deep, floater. I had no third shot drop. I didn't even know what a third
What it
shot
was.
drop was. My intent was to blow through everybody I played just by hitting the ball as hard as I can. And I had one of the guys, he come up to me after I'd probably took his head off a few times because I was having some control issues.
uh-huh.
And he says to me, he just took me aside. He goes, Steve. He says, we don't do that here. There's something called a soft game. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my, yeah, okay, sure. So the minute he told me this, I finished my session. We had a good time, and I came home and I sat down in the office and I logged on to YouTube and I said pickleball strategy, and that's how I basically was self-taught. Like I took bits and pieces, literally off of YouTube, and tried to mold a game style that I thought would, be a winning game style for a lot of the local events.
So, Steve, it's so funny that you say this because, like, I have the same story, but in the opposite direction. Like, I come from no tennis background or anything, and I played for the first time, got my butt kicked in, but I think I won one game, but I was completely hooked. So the first thing I come home and I did exactly what you did. YouTube. What are the strategies for like YouTube? So like on YouTube, and literally I was like, I started in the opposite direction instead of like trying to bang through everybody. Like instantly, like the second time I started playing, I just tried hitting like third shot drops the whole time, and
Right.
that's how I
You
learned.
didn't have those bad
Yeah.
tennis habits to get rid of.
And
Yeah. No, it took me a while for sure, and to get a grasp of that bloody kitchen line. I don't know how many times I would step in there. It would drive me nuts. I still do it today.
It happens. Ching, who's watching, wants to know which videos did you find were the most helpful when you
Oh gosh.
were learning?
You know what? There was literally this one video, and I knew somebody was going to ask that, and it's kind of escaping me right now. There was this. It was like Pickleball 101 double strategy, and it was some guy that talked like this. Do you know who I'm talking about?
no,
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I wish I could remember this guy's name, because it was if you just type in doubles pickleball strategy, it'll come up. It's like Pickleball 101.
You think you know?
no, I don't because it's not a well-known name. But
Yeah. Well, no, you seem to know what he was talking about.
was
'Cause
it
look at me
Coach
now, right?
Mo? I don't know. I know he probably knows, but I'm saying he's not well known. Like,
No,
meaning,
no.
I remember
I never heard of him, and I also learned a lot from watching old videos.
yeah,
Guys like Puppet Master,
yeah,
or Wes Gabrielson's, and even Enrique Ruiz. One of my favorites, Brian Ashworth.
yeah.
These types
Oh,
of
yours.
old
Okay,
school guys that have been
West
grinding,
connections up
right?
there.
Yeah, no, I watched a ton of their videos, right, and watched them play, right, and granted, obviously the game has changed,
Mhm.
over the years, but still, there's that core, strategy that, in my opinion, will most likely always be there.
Like literally, I just tried to fake it till I made it, and I would just try to like mimic shots that I would see on YouTube. Like,
Yeah,
but the thing is,
yeah,
like, there's only one way I was ever comfortable holding the paddle, which is probably
yeah,
like an Eastern forehand. It's
yeah.
not so much a semi-Western or not even a true Western.
Semi-Western would be tough. I'm telling you.
Well,
Like
like I think Riley is a true Western. You ever see him?
oh yeah, no, that guy's like he's got his
They
grip
play
jacked right
together.
around. I don't know how
Yeah,
he does it.
I don't know how he does it either. I wish
Yeah.
I was a little bit more continental, but it's like
Hmm.
probably like an Eastern forehand.
Yeah, I'm definitely continental for sure. And I don't change my grip ever. Whether I'm hitting dinks, drives, volleys, it's always the same.
Yeah.
Wes Gabrielson is watching. He said, "Looking good, Steve."
Joe
Oh
Tony
yeah.
wants to know who's your barber. I think you covered this too.
Who said that?
Joe Tony. You know him?
Of course he did.
Is
Yeah.
he one of your local guys up there?
No, he lives one province over, a little more north. I know Joe. Yeah, he's a good dude.
The Canadians. Sue
Yeah.
thinks it was Joe Baker Pickleball 101, possibly.
That's exactly it, Joe Baker.
Oh, Sue! Sue
Yeah.
with the
Sue,
win!
Sue.
Sue.
She gets a prize, man. Send her a muffin basket.
Yes, I was gonna send one to Stacy, and she said customs probably wouldn't let it through. They're strict about
Yeah, speaking of that, Steve, like
Are you get?
you've come over the border so many times in the last year, they probably think you're smuggling drugs by now.
Well, you never know. Like you guys are tough. Like I'm telling you.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
you're
get
pretty
so
close to
bloody nervous
California.
crossing the border, and I'm doing nothing wrong. I got a backpack full of paddles, and I feel like I'm bringing in a kilo of cocaine.
So, so my next question is, when did you get off the champion paddle and started using the Selkirk stuff?
It's funny. I had a feeling you were going to ask me that. Like I didn't. I can't even remember to this day where I got that aluminum champion paddle. I don't even remember where I got it.
Probably from the
I
pub
just
there.
well, I know I played my first two tournaments with it, and it was I liked it, and I ran into Selkirk at Centralia because I went to Centralia in 2017 as a 4.5, and I went down there with one of my buddies up here, Tim McVinney, and kind of got a taste of 5.0 pickleball down in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, so the first time like I actually saw you play was at Nationals 2018.
Right.
I was like, man, who's this Tim McVinney and Steve Deakin? I mean,
Yeah.
you're taking it to these guys, like, because like I know Eltoff and Rick Wiskin well, and we have some
Hmm.
epic battles together, playing against each other.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
you guys
Yeah.
whooped them. I was like, man, these guys are for real. And then
Mhm.
you took it to Tyler Loon. I forgot who Tyler Loon was playing with, but you took it to them too. And I was like, man,
I think that was in the. I think that one was in the Open event. I
open,
played with two
yeah.
different partners. I played the Age with Tim,
Mhm.
and then I played the Open with this another Canadian fellow, big tall German fellow named Marko Jankowiak.
So what do you think got you over the hump from like 4.5 to 5.0 to then where you are now?
I knew that once I learned the general strategy, developed a bit of a game style, adopted the patience, yet maintained my aggression, worked on some deception. I knew I had the skill to get to the next level just based upon my tennis background.
Hmm.
And I knew it would come. It was just a matter of when, and also playing better players. Like getting your butt whooped by somebody and learning from loss, and basically really analyzing your game and watching video, and like I do it all, right?
Well,
So
you started your first tournament that you played in was in like March of 2017. And
yep.
you ended up playing like 7 tournaments that year. You played like 9 tournaments in 2018. And then
Yeah.
so far this year, you've played like 18, and the year's not even
Yeah.
done yet. So I feel like
Yeah.
2019 is like the year of Steve Deakin, and this is really the first year that you've played like all of the majors, like TOC, Vegas, Texas Open,
Atlanta.
Atlanta. You're doing Fall Brawl. You're leaving tomorrow for Fall Brawl. Obviously, U.S. Open, Nationals, and really
Yeah.
the first. I think probably last year you didn't play in like a lot of the big, huge top tournaments. So what's
Yeah, last year in 2018 was a bit of a crazy year. In January I had broken my ankle playing pickleball. Yeah, of course. And once I rehabbed that, it was April of 2018, and then I started playing a bunch of tournaments like a maniac, of course, too soon.
okay?
And then I popped my calf in Centralia in 2018, and I was out again, literally until August of 2018, where I went to Bend. So
Wow.
and then I didn't play another event until U.S. Nationals in 2018.
So where you live right now, does it have a good pickleball scene, or are you constantly coming over the border down to Seattle?
To be honest, I've been coming over the border a lot. That's where pretty much all the real top players are, and I enjoy competition so much, and the all the major events are in the U.S. So that's pretty much why I'm coming down there all the time.
Good, it's good reason. Wes wants to know: will the beard last until Punta Gorda, and if so, he'll grow it out again?
Well, I was so disappointed. I thought, okay, I'm going to match Wes at this little tournament in Vancouver that we went to, and I thought, okay, I'm going to fluff this beard up real nice. I'm going to groom it, and then I show up and he's clean shaven, and I'm like, dude, what did you do? I grew this just for you. But yeah, I'm going to keep the beard until Punta Gorda. Yeah, if he makes a commitment to me, I'll do it.
All right, Wes, the gauntlet's been thrown.
So are you?
Will
Yeah.
commit?
Wes also a Packer fan. If people didn't know that either,
Oh.
just random much over flinging around over here.
I used to be a Dolphins fan. I'm never a Packer fan.
How are you?
Sorry, Wes.
How are you
I'm
fans
talking-
of anybody over here? Like, how does that happen?
What's that?
Were you?
How do you become fans
Because
of?
they have professional teams.
I know
in
they do, but
soccer.
like,
They
how do you
used to.
become a fan of the Dolphins or the Chicago
Yeah.
Bears? Like,
Well, I'll tell you how I'm a fan of the Dolphins. When I was playing tennis, I used to go to Miami all the time, 3-4 months of the year to train. And I was able to go to a few of their games, and I became a big fan. So at that point, but
We'll have to get Wes
yeah.
to ask him how he became a Packer fan. But
all right,
He's a
Wes
cheat.
said sounds like a deal. Beard coming back.
so are we talking?
Oh yeah.
Are we talking about Punta Gorda, like the series that's coming up, the road to Punta Gorda? You know what we're talking about, or no?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I think there's that World
No,
Pickleball
it's
Championship thing.
the one at the end of the year in December.
In December.
The World
The World
Championship
Championship
or
one?
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
Wes
you
and I
get
are
the
teaming up for that
you're
one.
playing with?
Pardon?
Who are you playing with?
I'm playing with Wes.
Oh,
Oh,
there it is.
oh.
No
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
Fair
sense.
enough. Fair enough.
Then I'm gonna play mixed with this gal named Martina Coakley.
Oh, Martina. Met her at the US
I've
Open.
vaguely heard of her. She seems cool.
So, like, when did you think, like, man, I really broke out? Like, I'm on the stage. Like what tournament?
Oh wow! Nationals was super fun for sure, and I had pretty much no idea that this was going to happen at all this year. And I remember because I wasn't on social media, anything like that, and Stacy says after nationals, she says, I got to set you up with a Facebook account. And I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Scary Facebook. Oh no.
This is a big step, and it actually turned out to be a real good thing because I was able to connect with a lot of different players and got some amazing partnerships for this year. And to answer your question though. I would say after Centralia this year, is kind of when I, made a decision that, yeah, I like this. It's fun. It's healthy. I like the people. I think I'm going to probably make an honest run at it.
Awesome. And speaking of all these partners, so would you say it was probably after nationals that you started getting people asking to play with you that were like the higher?
Definitely, yeah. No, it was after nationals for sure, and I reached out to a few players as well, and I started building a pretty good partnership network. It was
Yeah, because
it was really cool.
the next time I saw you play, then on the Facebook Live, was you were playing with Rick Witskin at the Indoor International Classic.
Yeah, that's right.
And man, did you play lights out? And you did a good job by telling Rick to stay on his side, on the dude's side where he belongs. I just don't know how. I don't know how you can stay concentrated with him going.
I know he was resistant to that, but I tell you, that guy has got some amazing hands.
He does.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We had a good time.
He's
in that
funny.
tournament, yeah, he's a blast.
Do you have any other partners that stand out as like someone that you like super enjoyed playing with? You hope to play with more?
Yeah, I know. Like
anyone that's
every partnership I've had this year has been super unique. Every single one of them have had. I've had great chemistry with almost every single partner I've played with this year, and of course I want to kind of narrow these partnerships down, moving forward in 2020, so I can kind of get a further chemistry going. But like guys like gosh, every single partner I played with has been so good. Like Eric Lang, like he stands out to me. He is a super nice guy, and we play so well together. Zabindin, one of my favorites is like Nick Williams and Wes and I Weinbach. Like God, like I played with so many guys. I can't say I dislike playing with any of them, if that makes any sense.
Well, that's a sign of a player that you can pretty much adapt to.
That's a sign
anyone's
for you that you can make it work with anybody. So that's.
Yeah, and like I truly like the the friendships that you get from these partnerships, and I'm really looking forward to 2020.
Yeah, like I just lost my train of thought.
Well, speaking of 2020, I don't think it's like breaking any exclusive news, but you are partnering with Dave Weinbach quite a bit here. I heard. Is that?
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, Dave and I will be playing definitely a handful and a half of events, I think.
Well, I feel sorry for you, my man. Get prepared for many chest bumps in your face.
He's got to be one of the most fun guys to play with. I tell you, he's a scream.
It's a good time. Do you have anyone else lined up next year that you're playing with a decent amount, or?
Yeah, there's this fellow from Seattle named Nick Williams.
Yep, okay. Another star player who is very good.
Oh my gosh, he
played lights out at the U.S. Open as well. He
was amazing at U.S. Open. We played together at Triple Crown and did quite well there. And he's the exact same age as me, ex-tennis player. He's one of these guys that I feel the most comfortable with on court. He's just so steady. You know what you're going to get with him, and I think we complement each other really well.
That's awesome. So, my personal observation of your game, which means absolutely nothing, so you don't have to listen to it. But I truly feel like you're your best when whatever partnership you're in. One, you're on the ad side, and two, you're like the more aggressive of the players. I don't know if you feel it.
That's definitely no secret for sure. Like,
what's the secret to me? I've never even talked to you once in person. I've never even met you.
This is gathered this from watching.
This is just from watching.
You are amazing, man. You want to be my coach? That's incredible.
No, you need to hire me. That's what you need to do.
I definitely feel comfortable on that ad side or the odd side. I guess they call it in pickleball. So I can adapt to any side, for sure. But I do feel I'm at my best on the ad side for sure.
Because I think your backhand cut is probably your best shot,
Hmm.
especially dinking. Like that is
Hmm.
tough to deal.
Yeah, no, that one's a good one, and I do like that kind of that hard backhand punch volley. I think is pretty strong too, and I sometimes like sneaking a forehand snap down the middle, sometimes disguised as a dink, and I think I've caught a few guys with it before. So
So yeah, because like especially like when I've never even heard of Suzanne Barr, who you played with at the Texas Open, but you got
now that was a super special event for me. I tell you,
that
she
was
was
talk about that a little bit because that like you guys played
sure.
lights out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was, I was actually supposed to play that event with Regina Franco,
Mm-hmm.
and she had contacted me 4 or 5 weeks before and said she couldn't make it, and she had something important that came up, and I get it. And so then I was, kind of scratching my head because, of course, everybody's in the event already, and I was trying to figure out who I could get, and it was actually my buddy Jeremy from Vancouver. It's Susanna is his mix partner coming up in a couple of events, and he says, "Hey, why don't you try Susanna? Give her a call. She's solid." And I said, "Sure." So I called her up. She was happy to come, which I was super grateful for because it was a long way for her to go for one event. And like she was probably one of the most fiercest competitors I've ever played with, and it showed on the court.
Yeah, it was fun watching you guys, and that
Yeah.
and then that led to Las Vegas, where everyone thought you were there for the Celine Dion special show. That's why we thought you were there, but
I mean,
apparently
Yeah,
that's
well, you know what? I secretly did go to that, but
not.
what just
So how
like
was it playing with Matt Wright? How was not to lie?
yeah, no, it was
Yeah,
it's Matt Wright, for crying out loud, right?
yeah.
Like that guy is
Riley
an
knew.
extremely dominant
Yep.
player. He's got some unbelievable results. Super aggressive, smart. Um, the competition there was deep, and what I've liked a little bit more, of course, but you can't win all the time, and it was a good experience playing with Matt. I had a good time with it for
Well,
sure.
at least your buddy Riley Newman, and I don't know if you're friends with Joey, but Riley played lights out in that tournament.
Oh, you know what? Like when Matt and I went into the winners bracket final there in Vegas, and we were coming across Joey and Riley, and I knew they had just beaten Kyle and Ben, and I knew I felt we were going to win, to be honest,
Because there could be
but
a letdown.
it was one of these things that they played incredibly. They earned that event. Like they deserved it. They were able to, deal with that Franklin ball and the crappy vision and the shadows, and like these guys went about their job. They did a great job. They deserved to win it, and I was happy for them both. Like they two really great guys.
Well, just to let you know, you come on this show, you get over the hump. Just like Riley did. He got over the hump.
yep, it's all about the
So
show.
guess what? You're due now. You're due to get over the hump. So
Yeah, well, Riley, I'm glad, Riley's my American brother, so it's, from another mother, but
Absolutely. Well, speaking of, Riley and Selkirk, how did Selkirk come about? I mean, I know you said that they approached you back in.
no, I got introduced to them actually
Okay.
in, March of, I guess it would have been March of 2017 or May of 2017 in Centralia.
Okay.
And I got introduced to them, and they were gracious enough to sign me up and send me a couple of paddles and some shirts, and that's where it all began.
Did you have other offers on the table, or was Selkirk they were quick out of the gate and were like, I know what's about to happen here. We're gonna get this guy.
No, they were definitely the first that I was introduced to, and I haven't looked back since. Like they've been just so fantastic, and their paddles are amazing, and like I'm so thrilled. They've been very generous, over the last couple years, and not just with me, but with they've got so many players that they take care of, and it's all for the development of the game, and I think they're probably the best out there for that.
That's awesome. So we'll just circle back a little bit. So your wife plays pickleball as well, obviously.
She just started. Yeah, she just
Okay.
started, I would say, back in less than a year ago. So she hit her first pickleball, I think, at U.S. Nationals last year.
So she was just still hung up on tennis. What took her so long to get on the train?
Well, no, she was getting her real estate business going. She wasn't really doing it wasn't really playing tennis at the time either. And I think she had the mentality, if you can't beat them, join them. So I spent a ton of time, playing pickleball, going to tournaments, and I think she felt it was necessary that she better jump on board quick.
That's awesome.
Well, speaking of Stacy and what she used to play, she has a lovely photo that she had on her Facebook page of her playing lacrosse
Pull that up.
way back in the...
Really?
Yeah. Do you know that your wife played
I
lacrosse?
haven't even seen that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you're going to be able to.
Can I see this or what?
I don't know. I'll send it to you.
And you
Don't
can circle
worry.
back.
But it is from 1978.
Holy cow. That's a long time ago.
I mean, it's on her Facebook. If you had Facebook, you'd watch. She is the front row,
Side swipe.
third from the left, if I read the picture correctly. But yeah, she was rocking lacrosse like way back. I played lacrosse in college, so I was like, Stacy, love it.
Wow.
That's
She's a bit of a tomboy, eh?
I mean, that's not a bad thing. So
No,
we
totally
know,
not.
know she's got that athleticism rocking. So
I got a soft spot for athletic girls, that's for sure.
well, you got to. They're the best. So what level is she playing at now? Are you coaching her?
Well, gosh, it's funny, we've had this debate before. I would say she would be locally a 4.0. That's right. You heard that right. 4.0.
So why aren't you letting her? Are you allowing Stacy to watch tonight, or are you too?
I have no idea what she's doing right now. Actually,
She told us you were too nervous. She wasn't allowed to watch live.
I'm nervous. Does this look like a nervous face to you?
No, I'm just saying.
I got my feet up. I got a nice drink. I'm just kind of hunkered in
He
here.
is just chilling,
living his best life.
Max.
Yeah.
So you live in a very beautiful area. Do you do anything else, or is pickleball just 24/7 like me?
Oh my God!
Literally
I
took
had a
over my
feeling you were
life.
going to ask me that. I must sound fairly lame because all I do right now is I play pickleball and I go to the gym, and I go to work and I go to tournaments.
Lauren, why don't you tell
it.
Steve what I do with my life? No,
That's my life.
Yeah, he goes to the gym. He plays pickleball.
I get
and
up.
he does pickleball related things.
Yeah.
So
Well, he doesn't look like that for nothing. So thank you to the gym.
Yes.
yes, crushing that gym life. But so how do you guys do any snow sports in the winter? Being up there?
I don't. I've never even set foot on a pair of skis or a snowboard. And Stacy is I'm pretty sure. Pardon?
Is that even allowed to be like?
No, it's not really.
Not do.
No, I don't do any of that. No, Stacy has been trying to drag me up to the mountains so many times, and I say, listen, I could really hurt my knee doing this. I could, I make every excuse in the book. So.
Okay.
I don't like waiting in lines. You should see these mountains.
Well, that's true, but Whistler's like right there.
Well, I know. It's not too far away.
All right. So, to be fair, I was incorrect. It wasn't Stacy that was playing lacrosse. It was apparently a boyfriend from elementary school that was prettier than her. And that's why I posted that.
That makes more sense because I don't ever remember Stacy saying she was a lacrosse player.
This is very embarrassing for me. But I like
it's okay. We won't.
That's why Lauren doesn't do the research. I do the research.
It's true. I talk and then he finds out all the info because I.
Well, how come it's not called Live with Lauren and Kyle? Like Kyle, you get absolutely no props.
Yeah, this is the brain, or I'm the brains. I do everything. She's just the talent and takes all the credit. So that's
so you're like the IT guy, right?
I do like all the video editing, all the shooting, all the streaming setup.
Speaking of which, I did see that video.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I laughed out loud. You nailed that accent to a T, eh?
Hey, that
Yeah.
was my idea.
Yep. Yep. That was a good one. We liked it. It was fun.
I was creeping on your profile through your videos. I'm like, I saw that one. I'm like, oh man, do I have a good idea here?
That's an old one. That's an old video for sure.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Hey, we got you a lot more views than you originally had, though.
Yeah,
Oh God, that did not do well. That one I thought that was some of my best material out there, and it bombed. I don't even know why it's still on there.
Oh man, that's a good stuff. You better get Stacy to clean out your videos.
I don't know. She is the brains of the operation, right? Like she basically just told me Wednesday at 5:30 you're busy, and I said, well, I got to go to Utah. I got to go to the gym. I've got things to do. Like I'm super rigid, right?
Uh-huh.
And Stacy gives me a hard time about it, and it's okay. But I am here and having a chit chat. So yeah, you can thank Stacy, and you can send more in a muffin basket. Okay.
Seriously, she deserves it. She deserves it. But back to Whistler. So we're big skiers, even if you're not. So can we stay at your house if we come to go to Whistler?
Well, anytime, but you're gonna have to sleep with Oliver.
I'll do it. I'm gonna win Oliver over. I'll tell you what.
Oh wow, there hasn't been a single person that has done that yet, so I'm looking forward to it.
What's his deal? What's going on?
I don't know. He's got problems. He's got serious problems.
You guys?
No, I don't know. It's probably his dog mom who created it. So no structure.
All right.
I can do it.
All right, Steve. So I checked out your lame website that had absolutely no information out yet. Can you kind of tell the
I
people?
told you guys it's a landing page.
It's a landing page.
It's a landing page. Okay. All right.
Well, tell us what is to come. What
is Steve Deakin Pickleball? What are some of your plans, if you can?
Well, basically, it's actually quite simple. I'm going to be offering like camps and clinics Canada-wide. Along with doing a little bit of a supply business. I'm going to be doing the Selkirk paddles and balls and nets and some clothing, some shoes, anything to do with pickleball.
Awesome. Are you going to be traveling through camp doing these things?
I am. Yeah, that's the general idea. Stacy's been kind of spearheading this for me. I've got probably 25, 30 events planned next year, tournaments. So she's got a bit of a challenge because she's got to be able to kind of arrange my schedule so that I can be at these camps as well.
I mean, talk about
it's going to be a super busy year.
Yeah, I mean, but that sounds awesome. And is it going to be all ages, all levels? Are we going to do like some younger ones?
Yeah, I'm looking obviously the 3.0 to 4.0 brackets, but I've had some requests which I wasn't expecting through the website already for high performance pickleball. So I to be honest, I hadn't really even thought of that as something to offer, but now I am, I guess.
Well, you can hire me to film and edit, and then you can.
Oh, after what I saw, you're a shoo-in. Yeah, I'm not even going to call anybody else.
Yes.
Check out my videos, bro. Check them out.
And of course, I want to look at some. Well, I'm scared to. Yeah, I also want to do some junior. I want to do some junior stuff as well because there's obviously the future of the game. Mm-hmm. So it would be nice to get kids involved at an early age.
So what's the pickleball scene like in Canada?
Yeah.
Like how big is it?
Wow. You
got some tough competition with Mark Renison.
I love Mark. Mark's awesome.
Well, yeah, I know you guys are completely far apart, but
no, Canada's a big place.
Yeah, I know.
Big place. We'll never even run into each other.
I was gonna say he's way on the east side. It's gonna be East Coast versus West Coast, like in the rap battles in the mid '90s.
Yeah, no, no, there's a lot of designated pickleball courts and clubs being, almost every few weeks I see something on Facebook somewhere in Canada. It's growing and growing very quickly. The more people expose themselves to the game and understand how fun it is, like anybody can pick it up and play it. Whereas is tennis is, can be a bit more frustrating as a, entry level player, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. This is just completely random, but I forgot to put this out there right in the beginning. But my grandmother is Canadian from Toronto, so I am part Canadian. I'm just putting it
Oh,
out.
wow.
You're from the Six?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
didn't even know that, eh, Kyle?
No. Hey, were you cheering
Holy
for the
cow.
Raptors this year or no?
Of course.
All the way from the other side?
I'm not a huge, listen, I'm not a huge NBA fan or
Yeah.
basketball fan at all,
You weren't a
but
Grizzlies
when I
fan?
found, yeah, well, I love the Grizzlies, of course. I did go to some Grizzlies games, but I'm not a huge basketball fan. But I didn't even know the Raptors were in the finals. I had no idea. That's how clueless I am. And when I
Or
found
plugged
out
into
that they were,
pickleball.
I was like, I had to start watching them.
Yeah.
love it.
So do you watch any other sports or anything, or is it just a 24/7 pickleball?
Oh gosh,
Do you watch tennis?
I have time.
Do you
I
watch
was
tennis?
huge into. I like watching tennis, of course.
Yeah.
I follow all the Grand Slams and all that stuff. I used to watch a ton of hockey. I just, and of course, NFL, Monday Night Football. I used to watch quite religiously, and I just honestly haven't had time. It's just been a bit of a grind.
Well, after the Blackhawks had Vancouver's number for all those numbers of years, it's like,
Well, I don't even want to hear about it.
Oh man, don't
I'm
upset
sour
him.
about it.
Don't upset him. He's salty. He's salty.
Yeah, I'm getting cranky now.
Oh no. Well, one other very, very important Canada-related question that I think everybody's been waiting to know.
the people want to know.
Who's your favorite Ryan? Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling?
God, they're both so bloody handsome, aren't they?
It is true.
I mean, you give them a run for their money, but
Well, they maybe a little bit. I'm gonna go with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I just find his humor is way better. I think he's from Vancouver too, to be honest. So
I believe you.
I got to support the Vancouver boy, and he's married to Blake Lively.
Yeah, and that's no.
And that's a very good effort on his part.
100%. Yeah, and they just
Right?
had their third baby. They make some real
I
cute
know.
babies. It's very.
Yeah.
all right. So I guess we're kind of getting near the end of our interview. So just like one last question, or if anyone else has any other questions, what are some of like your goals for 2020 or the end of 2019, and like what are you trying to hope us to accomplish? Obviously, we talked about your
Camps and all
pickleball
that
camps, but in
stuff.
terms of what is Steven's goals?
Oh wow! Obviously, I think the end goal for majority of pickleball players is to win a major, right? Like that would be probably at the forefront for me. I sure would like to take a round out of Ben Johns. I tell you that.
Yeah.
I think that's on a lot of people's list.
Hold on. Speaking of Ben Johns, we got a special announcement.
What? Breaking announcement?
Breaking news. Sorry, Steve.
Breaking news. Sorry, we have to cut in.
Oh my God! Of course, I'm taking a back seat again.
We're hearing. We're getting something in the prompter. We're hearing something. This Saturday, we have on our show not one Johns, but two. Johns and Colin Johns. Woo! Saturday.
All right, that's a huge announcement. That's amazing.
You were the first to hear, Steve. You're here.
Oh,
big
yeah.
We just broke the internet.
We broke it.
That's the story of my life. Ben Johns this, Ben Johns that. Okay. Just tell that I get sick of that guy. He earnies me all the time. It makes me extremely unhappy.
So okay, yeah. Besides Ben Johns, who's one of the players that this really?
You want to beat him.
Come on.
Oh my gosh. Ben Johns is the only one. I'm sorry. Like he's the one that I've got to get this guy, and like and I'm coming for you. Where's my finger? I'm
Yep, there
coming
it
for
is.
you, Mr. Johns.
We will tell him
Now,
on the show. Just
no,
we'll reiterate.
yeah, and just so I'll share with everybody that whenever I get Ernied, and especially by him, it makes me seethe inside. I get so angry, and then he's got this boyish smile after he does it, and it's like I can't be mad at him.
Yeah. Joe Tony wants to know if Ben's the only player to call you dad.
Of course he did. Yeah, of course he did. I think a few guys out there want to call me dad.
I feel like that could go in so many different directions that we feel like
I'm
just leave it at that.
I'm just surprised Ben Johns doesn't sit you on his lap and say, "Hey, you can call me Daddy." To be honest with you, because I
Yeah.
you down like no other. Okay, and then
Oh
one of my
man,
last questions is: so, did you hear about this new series that's starting, the Midwest Southern Series, and do you plan on playing in that?
I do. Yeah, I'm playing in all of them.
Oh,
he is.
Yeah,
He's
so
coming for that
yeah,
title.
so
yeah,
are you gonna make
yeah.
it your way to Wisconsin just to
Yes,
to are you going to
definitely.
come just to visit instead of? I know you're coming to Milwaukee, but are you going to come visit sometime soon so we can get some rec games in? And
Yeah, I'm like honestly, I got a lot. I might have a lot more time on my hands coming up, so we'll be good.
all right, well, you got to make your way to Madison, especially if you're playing some tournaments with
Yeah, I
Dave's.
mean David.
Isn't that where Weinbach's from?
Yes.
Madison, yeah.
Yep.
So like I'm
Are you
lucky
guys
enough.
buds?
Yeah.
They play together.
Yeah, we play probably because he's like an hour and 15 minutes away, and he plays a lot during the daytime. And obviously,
Does he chest pump you during rec?
what's that?
Does he chest pump you during rec?
There's more shit talking that's going on than probably chest bumping. We have a nice
Dave is a different
yeah.
Dave.
Rec Dave is
Tournament
yes.
Dave.
Rec Dave, like like it's funny because like he'll get people to like come play with him that like, oh man, it's Dave Weinbach, and they're real quiet and anything, and then they'll see like people that play with him, me and Zane and a couple other people, and Cassandra Gerke. I don't know if you ever met her, but we'll just talk massive shit to him the whole time while we're playing because.
Does he take it like a champ?
What's that?
Does he take your shit like a champ?
Yeah. There's a lot of laughing going on.
It's a lot of good times.
There's a lot of good times going on. But yeah,
Awesome.
we get a lot of good games, and so hopefully you'll just make it here for vacation. Go visit the Badger in Madison. And
Yeah.
then,
That's the first place that's on my vacation list is Madison, Wisconsin.
yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's
I
on
knew
every-
it. I know. But when you come to Milwaukee, we'll show you a good time if you have some time.
Perfect.
Yes, and then
Go get a drink.
Victor Avila wants to know how old you are, Steve.
Oh my gosh, this is I'm 45.
Yes, so we are playing in that. You got the good age division. Are you one of those players that now that you're like, as you're getting a little older, you want to keep playing the Ben Johns of the world, or are we like, man, I really want to just like rock that 35 plus bracket?
No, I think I'm always going to be the guy that's going to want to play at the highest level until I can no longer do it.
Yeah.
Until, and I think the sport's headed that way, as a lot of these tennis players come into it. It's you're going to see a lot more younger people playing, but pickleball is so awesome, for players of my age to compete with the younger kids, right? Because it's not always about the power, right?
Yep. Well, Steve, I think a lot of people got to know you because a lot of people haven't really, unless they see you at a tournament, haven't really gotten to talk to you. So I think that's I think you really got your personality across tonight, which is a good thing.
Well, okay, good. Yeah. I certainly appreciate you guys having me on. It was
so. Is there anything?
Fun, actually.
Is there anything you want to like plug?
Promote anything else on your way out?
On your way out, we know you're not.
I'm going to plug one thing that we didn't touch on. I've been working with a trainer out of Port Coquitlam, which is the next city over from me, and his name is Morgan Hodge, and he has a gym called Poco CrossFit and Function Athletics. and I've been doing a ton of work with him, and I'm super excited for what's to come in 2020. We're hopefully going to be looking at a much more fit and lean Steve Deakin in 2020, and it's going to be all thanks to Morgan.
Are we going to see a pickleball calendar that you're going to put out?
Well, my goal is
the 12 months of Steve Deakin.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, you came on the show, so that this breaks the hump. So
yeah,
good things are to come. You're welcome.
Well, I know, I appreciate it. So I'll have to make sure I plug you guys next time too.
So you have this one last thing. You have what's it called this weekend?
Fall Brawl.
Fall Brawl, and then you have Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Playing with the Nationals. Mm-hmm. You're playing with Dave.
I am super excited for Nationals. I am playing with my buddy Eric Lang.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do a little a TOC reunion there. So Eric's playing so good. I am really excited for this event, and I'm playing mixed in the age and the open with Michelle Esquivel.
Oh, nice!
Right.
So I'm also super excited to play with her as well. It's going to be a very interesting event.
Awesome. We'll be watching for sure if we can, and keeping an eye on everything you're doing and working towards. So we are definitely. Please put your phone down. We're not done yet. Are you serious?
I just got the text that I'm getting up to go drill at 6:45 this tomorrow.
Well, I've been getting texts too, but I haven't answered them. All right.
Hey, well, I'm Hollywood and you're not.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. You were a delight to have on.
Thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it. I'm glad I did it, and I'm sure we'll run into you guys soon. And I'm going to take you up on that Milwaukee excursion.
Oh yeah,
yes, and I am coming over to.
People in Wisconsin
Oliver
know how to
is going to love me. Oliver is going.
Yeah, you're going to be the Oliver Whisperer.
Yes.
So yeah, come on over and take care of him.
This winter, we'll hit up Whistler. We'll see Oliver. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
All right.
Have an awesome
Thanks,
time.
guys.
Good luck at Fall Brawl. And we will check you later.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Well,
all right, guys.
Fun. Social media platform.
First time rocking it out. Yes. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Hopefully you had a great time listening to Steve and learning more about him and hanging out and all that good stuff, seeing how much dirt Kyle can dig up on people, which is always a good time to see what little nuggets he finds. Every time we do interviews, I'm super excited when you ask them a question and they're like, whoa, wow, like, why did you know that? How do you know that?
So can we just play the Onyx review video?
Do we want to play the Onyx review real quick?
For everybody.
Victor wants to know what our names are again.
Victor,
thank you so much for watching. Obviously, first-time viewer, hopefully long-time fan now. I'm Lauren McLaughlin. This is Kyle Salenko. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We are trying to rock...
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties earlier.
It was just a setting on our computer, but...
Yeah, we figured it out. We powered through.
All right. So we made an Onyx paddle review because I've been play testing with it, and we'd just like to show you it. We posted it on Facebook, so... Roll it.
Yes, we will.
And we'll talk about
it one more time, and then we'll do a little. What do we got coming up soon? And we'll touch again on. We got a couple awesome, great things coming up, even in the next week that we're putting out. So stay tuned after this video, and we will hit up those couple last things before we sign out, and we'll go from there. Big shout out to Zane Navertil who helped us out on this video. Please enjoy. We'll be right back. Hi everybody, Lauren McLaughlin here, and this is a No Smoke Minute Review. Today we're talking about the Onyx Evoke Premier. Co-developed by national champions Matt Wright and Lucy Kovalova, the Evoke Premier paddle brings power and precision like never before. Coming in a light, medium, or heavy weight, all three use the new Atomic 13 Edge technology, an edge guard specifically designed to disperse shock while increasing power and swing speed to the paddle. The DF composite face provides a consistent minimal coating, the precision cut core delivers incredible touch, and the impact paddle shape is perfect for increasing your reach and maximizing your baseline power. Today we are playtesting the paddle with Onyx Pro Zane Navertil. So Zane, what are your favorite features about the Onyx Evoke Premier paddle?
I really like this paddle because it feels like a tennis racket to me. It's full 16 inches long and 8 inches wide. Sometimes I play with a two-handed backhand, and the grip is long enough for me to put my other hand on there comfortably, which isn't always the case with some other paddles. I can generate a lot of spin with this paddle because the face is very, very grippy as well.
So this paddle is actually the next evolution in the Evoke series of paddles by Onyx. How would you say the new Evoke Premier has been enhanced from the old version?
Yeah, I think it's a natural progression from the Evoke Pro. Like I said, it's a little bit longer. It has an extra ½ inch on it, which actually I feel moves the sweet spot up considerably in the paddle. So it gives you a lot more reach. This paddle also has a brand new composite face where the paint on it is very, very, very thin. So you actually play with more of the surface on there. So the paddle also uses the new Atomic 13 edge guard, which really helps disperse the hit across the face of the paddle, and it makes it very stable and just a very true feel to it.
Thanks everybody. This is Lauren McLaughlin, and this has been a No Smoke Minute Review. All right, guys.
That's the video we just made.
That was the video that Kyle edited. We shot. Put it all together. Good stuff. And yeah, so we're having a really good time doing paddle review videos and these shorter hot takes that we're putting out periodically. Hype videos, all that good stuff. So we're having a really good time doing that. And if you missed it when we were doing our interview with Steve, we had a huge, big announcement, which is we are doing episode 5 of the No Smoke Pickleball Show this Saturday already. We're not even taking a week off. We're coming right back at you. And we have Ben Johns and Colin Johns, the big winners of the Franklin Masters.
Can't wait to talk to him about that 10-1 comeback.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. They were down 10-1. Anyway, so huge, big deal. We're having Ben Johns and Colin Johns on together Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific, all that good stuff. Yeah, so that was awesome. No, we're not done yet.
Oh, okay,
and we have another big announcement. Oh, Michael wants to know, what's the best paddle you guys like and why? What is your favorite? I mean, you are playing with the Onyx Evoke Premier right now.
Yeah, so like first of all, I was with ProLight for a couple of years, so I was using the Titan, which is a great paddle.
Yep.
And then I had the opportunity to just try it now. I'm not under contract with them anymore, and try out a bunch of different paddles. And so right now the two that I'm trying out is obviously the Premier. And I've been using
which you just reviewed.
The light version.
This is the light version. It comes in light, medium, and heavy.
And so it comes in blue. And then I've been testing the new
Paddletech Tempest.
And
new graphics, new logo, all that good stuff.
I've been enjoying this Premier. Sorry. I've been enjoying the Premier probably the most out of all the paddles so far that I've been testing. This is very interesting. Like, when I first hit a ball, I was hitting a ground stroke, and I was like, man, this paddle's not going to be for me because of this. I had so much pace on it, a lot of pop. Power. But then, so I'm thinking, it's going to have very bad touch. Like, not bad, but, like, not as good as touch.
Not soft touch.
And surprisingly, it didn't have quite the touch of the Titan, but it has a lot more pop than the Titan. But it still had a pretty decent feel. So I kind of wanted to get a little bit more power and give up a little bit more touch, personally, for the evolution of my game. So this paddle, legit, try it out, for sure. The Tempest, on the other hand, is it's a lot softer, a lot more control. It's more along the lines of the Titan. Kind of wanted to get away from that for a little while just to try out something different.
New stuff.
So I'm interested to get my hands on a Vulcan paddle. I haven't tried one of those yet.
A Vulcan paddle. Gearbox, I hear a lot
and
of good
Gearbox,
stuff
the
about
G6,
paddle.
the G6. So I want.
There's a lot of good ones out there, definitely to try. But right before we head out, guys, thank you so much for watching again. We are also going to be doing a hot take, which is our sort of short little miniature shows that we do just about like one specific topic. We are having Andrea Koop and Maggie Rominsky, possibly, I think she's married now, but we'll just say Maggie Rominsky for now. They are coming on to do a super special announcement with a tournament that they're involved with. So that is going to be awesome. So you're definitely going to want to tune in. We will put it up on the page, of course, all the info to turn into that. And then next week, Tuesday, we are having Ken Herman on and Rick Witskin. Ken is the creator of the U.S. Midwest Southern Series that Steve Deakin is playing all the events in. He already said when we were talking to him, so that's awesome. So Ken's going to be on talking about the series next year, all that's involved in it. It's going to be awesome, and we are looking forward to having some really great stuff in the next week. So we'll be posting online about when that's coming up and everything. So thank you again so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed Steve's interview and chatting with him, and we will.
Sorry about, again, the technical difficulties in the video.
It is what it is.
We got it ironed out.
Yeah, we got it. We worked it out. So thanks so much, guys, and we will be back on Saturday with the Johns, so definitely tune in for that. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully Kyle's going to dig up some good dirt that no one's asked him about before, and it'll be awesome. So enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Thanks, Anton. Miss you, buddy.
Bye, guys.
Things are good. We'll see you guys later.
I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot.